Breaking through the clutter, Sony Computer Entertainment of America announced that the PlayStation has now sold over 300,000 units in a short 2-month period, largely exceeding the expectations of many industry analysts. Incredibly, over 1 million software titles have already been sold for the machine. This puts the PlayStation well ahead of the Saturn in terms of sales, and based on the barrage of software we've been seeing as of late, it looks like it's full steam ahead for the PSX. Although Electronic Arts has had somewhat of a stronghold on the console-based sports market for some time, Sony's internal development team has tried their hand at football with NFL Game Day, an extremely impressive football simulation. First and foremost, Sony is quick to point out that this football game was developed from the ground up to play on the 32-bit PlayStation, and it is evident in the intense realism of the game. Licenses from the NFL allow the game to include over 1,600 real players, with trading cards, and the entire NFL roster of teams. The playbook is up to date with the latest plays thanks to NFL quarterbacks who looked over the game to assure detail. The actual game engine allows for 4 different camera angles, 3 difficulty settings, and even the ability to select the weather from rain to snow to wind. Furthermore, the change in weather does much more than just toss a few raindrops on the screen. Players actually slide and slip on the wet surface. In addition, there are fully rendered stadiums and even the ability to trade players to create your ultimate dream team. NFL Game Day doesn't cut any corners when it comes to detail and realism. Hence, it's a game that propels football sims into a new realm and enters Sony into the sports market with a bang, not a whimper. Dubbed as America's largest killer of time, Zoop from Viacom New Media is an incredible new puzzler which approaches the quality of the hallmark of puzzle games Tetris. The concept is fresh. You are a triangle that can fire a ray in one of 4 directions to destroy shapes which are trying to invade your square. To add some more spice to the pot, the color of your triangle must be the same as the shape you're shooting. Furthermore, the use of optic illusions for backgrounds forces the eye to be distracted from the moving pieces. The PlayStation version works extremely well with the controller, and the impressive music track combined with nail-biting gameplay helps us qualify Zoop as an incredible puzzle game, well worth the price of admission. Chaps over in England at Bullfrog Productions recently released Theme Park on the Sony PlayStation, a conversion of their hit PC title from last year. Right off the bat, the game is hard to control, and the lack of support for the PSX mouse is a huge drawback. The game is nearly identical to the PC version with one enhancement. You can now walk around the park in first-person perspective, so once you create a unique park, you can actually look at it through the eyes of a patron. Sadly, the largest downfall of the game is the tiny font used. It's so small, it's nearly impossible to read on a 28-inch television screen. The result is an extremely poor conversion of a wonderful game. It's a shame. Sony Psygnosis has released the first 2-disc title for the PSX, Nova Storm, a single-player, fast-action shoot-'em-up set in the future where computers run the world. It's been significantly reworked from the PC version, now sporting faster action and better game control. You pilot the Scavenger 4 space fighter, flying through canyons, above glaciers, and between cities. The title is very similar in nature to Rebel Assault and is actually quite fun to play but rather short. All in all, a mildly positive review on this shooter. Microprose's hit strategy game XCOM, UFO Defense is now available on the PSX, featuring new CD-quality music, enhanced sound effects, smoke effects in battles, and even a more extensive UFO encyclopedia. As you battle aliens terrorizing the Earth, you'll command a fleet of scientists, engineers, and soldiers in a fight for justice and survival. The game translates well to the PSX and works extremely well with the mouse peripheral. If you've played the PC version, there are other titles more worthy of purchase. But for gamers who are fans of strategy titles that have yet to experience XCOM, this is the cream of the crop. One of Japan's hottest fighting games, Zero Divide, is now available for US consumers. This high-tech fighting game features 60 frames per second of animation with incredible robotic characters. The game, set in a virtual world, pits players against mercenary warriors with names such as Tao and Draco. A unique feature is 4 different camera angles, including a first-person fighter perspective of the action. With a gamut of moves at your fingertips, the addition of projectile rocket attacks add extra flavor to the already hair-raising combat. Overall, Zero Divide is a revolutionary fighting game and the perfect complement to Battle Arena Toshinden. Those little green things are back in 3D Lemmings from Sony Psygnosis. With over 100 different levels to plow through, with 9 different lemming skills to complete the levels and save our little friends. Unfortunately, the beautiful 3D graphics come at a price, that being the gameplay. The 3D perspective ends up being much too confusing, and the multiple camera angles are extremely disorienting. The virtual lemming first-person perspective is fun, but overall the game is extremely hard to master and enjoy. Then again, if you have the PSX mouse, it's more enjoyable, but not really worthy of purchase. It looks like Psygnosis doesn't save all those lemmings this time around. Cross MechWarrior 2 with Doom, and the result would probably be Cybersled, a futuristic tank combat game. This arena combat game was a big hit in the arcades with a unique steering wheel, but unfortunately the PSX version doesn't have this luxury. We're stuck with the control pad. Hence, although the conversion is graphically similar to the arcade, it's extremely hard to control the tank. There are 11 different tanks to choose from, and 8 arenas of battle, but overall, Cybersled ends up being Cyber Stew.